Well, here is the crazy hoverbot work desk, and I made this helical 5.8 gigahertz antenna yesterday. Finished it today. Lots of use of glue stick, but inside there, I'm not sure if you can see that, my gap is very, very small, and about 1 or 2 millimeters, and you can see the helical coil goes down there into the bottom of the plastic form, and then inside to make contact with the tip. So it's inside the actual tube itself at the bottom of the connection, and the gap is between the reflector and this coil as it reaches its lowest point, which is 1.5 millimeters or so, and then it goes inside and touches the electrode, soldered to the electrode there. So this is actually a little small, like, teapot cover that I took the knob off of, and it had a hole perfectly in the center of it. So it's copper, I think, and then it's plated on this side. But everything's soldered really well. So now that sits on top of the receiver, and I've reinforced it with this heat shrink here and glue stick underneath that as well, so it's quite durable, and I can have it outside my backpack even if I wanted to while hiking. And that will go on the top, and I tried it tonight and it turned out really, really well. I was able to get as good or better reception than the actual skew planer that I had on the other receiver. And this is my diversity setup, so when I'm flying, when I'm gripping the actual controller like this, I can fly with the throttle, rotate back and forth, and then I can click this or just grip the radio like this, and that momentary switch will switch the RX to the other receiver for video and see if I have better reception. There's a bit of a blackout, but a bit of a blackout is better than nothing if you have no signal at all. And when you do get a blackout on FPV, it's quite shock actually, or the static gets so bad. So it's nice to have an option to try the other antenna. And it also helps for testing my antenna, which I was able to do by going up the street about 200 yards and then switch between the two. So that's the new setup on the controller, and I'm looking into getting an amp for the controller as well, as opposed to having a UHF system. But there it is, homemade. Not the most accurate diameter on the actual coil, maybe out even half a centimeter, maybe 4 or 5 millimeters, but the reception was awesome, and I'm sure that I'll find out at the field whether or not it works at higher altitudes, and how the directional effect of this pot lid here will affect it. But it looks pretty clean for homemade, and interesting. I used a boring bar box on the side for reinforcement, but it's very well supported, and that's my first one, so maybe I'll make a 10 coil or 8 coil and try that as well. And there you go, the hoverbot charging up its 1-cell battery under here for the video transmitter. And I tried this video transmitter, which is the 200 milliwatt video transmitter, and honestly it was worse than my PCB home soldered transmitter there, which is 200 milliwatts as well, and a lot lighter, and this was worse. So I'm not sure what's going on with this transmitter. Maybe I'll sell it or try to figure out whether or not it's just the channel or something. But anyways, 45 bucks that could have gone into extra motors or props. It's a learning process. So there's the hoverbot, believe it or not, 1.6 kilograms and getting 9-minute flights.